A very warm welcome on the 36th episode You the Nurse Talk Show. Thank you very much for your all love, appreciation, and feedback. We are back with 36th episode because we know we love you and you love us. And therefore, our relationship continuing and getting stronger day by day. Carolyn McCarthy, Erin Murphy, and Eleanor Smith. These are the few names of the nurses who actually proved themselves in the nursing profession as well as in politics. Yes, Carolyn McCarthy is an American nurse and politician who served as a US representative for New York from 1997 to 2015 as a Democrat. Erin Murphy is Minnesota politician and member of the Minnesota Senate. She is former majority leader of Minnesota House of Representatives, executive director of Minnesota Nurses Association, and she was a registered nurse. Ellen Smith is another nurse from the Operation Theatre. She worked as a theatre nurse from 1984 till 2017 at NHS Trust, and in 2011, Smith was elected as the first Black president of the trade union Unison and later served as a regional councillor of Chair TUC Midlands. To continue this story and cross the border, we have another nurse, Dr. Mupidi Rajeshwari, whose nursing career is decorated with so many accolades, and she is determined to prove herself in politics now. We are looking forward to listen the saga of your struggle and success. Thank you very much, ma'am, for accepting our invitation and being part of You the Nurse Talk Show. On the behalf of my whole team, I sincerely thank you for accepting our invitation. And now platform is yours. Over to you, ma'am.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Rupa, for introducing me to the session. Good evening, one and all present over here in this You Nurses Talk Show. First of all, I wanted to thank Ms. Rupa and her team, You Nurses Talk Show, for inviting me for this program. Glad to know about Madam Sri Devi also. I am Professor Rajeshwari Mupudi. Let me introduce myself. I did my schooling in Science School, Korakonda, where I am the only girl in the class from 5th to 12th standard. Frankly speaking, that made me bold. When I was in 12th standard, I used to feel bad as I was not able to join in defense as almost all my classmates joined NDA. With my father's motivation, I came to nursing. As he said, like, your friends went to do service for the nation, and nursing is also like somewhat service to mankind. And he made me to come for nursing. So once I did my BSc nursing from Government College of Nursing, Somajiguda, under Usmania University. By seeing our principal, Miss Tahira Khan, maybe throughout the world knows about Miss Tahira Khan, really amazing and elegant figure, who is the first nurse from combined AP and from a Nawab family, and dedicated and a pillar to nursing in AP by starting nursing college, which is the first government-run college in India. And she used to encourage us, saying that in nursing, there will be sense of discipline and all-round development, and throughout world, we can go and work. And that made me to accept nursing as my profession. And it took nearly 3 months for me to get adjusted with girls in my first year. Because I was with boys till 12th standard, it was really difficult for me in the first days. And as I studied in boys' school, my teachers used to feel that I have a boisterous behavior. That somewhat like they used to feel like problem. Maybe that is the reason I was little bold at this place. For 9 years, I worked as a nursing tutor in Andhra Mahila Sabha, which is an MPSW training school. In the beginning, it was really very difficult to teach them as they are having only 18 months course and it is in Telugu language. And it was really to get adjust with that. But at this juncture, I wanted to say that we never restricted the amount, the the study, like what we have to teach them, like midwifery, what we learned in 4th year from the Miles textbook, that we used to teach them, because we never said that, oh, you are ANM, you have to be restricted there only. Whatever knowledge we gain from our teachers, we used to teach them. And I proudly say that those students who I was teaching them, now they are all in government services doing their job like PHNs and community health officers and giving best services to the government. And some went to Saudi where they are also excelling in their services. And in 93, I got a chance to go to Saudi Arabia. In the beginning days, it is really difficult for me to get adjusted because from the teaching, I went to service side. And there, even the senior staff used to say that we are not here to teach you. I mean, that was the thing. And it is very hard for us to learn everything, like bedside, all the procedures, everything we had. And different in a different country, what the setup we learned is different, and where I went to work, that is different. So I have to be a little bit tense and to learn. So when I was a staff nurse, the hospital director was a Saudi surgeon, and he is very strict. And my head nurse, when she wanted to go for vacation, there is nobody to relieve her because the director is strict and he will not, I mean, the people were frightened to stand in front of him. And that is the time I took a chance and I came forward to relieve her for 2 months to go for vacation. And that gave me a turning point because he liked my services for 2 months and I relieved her for 2 years like that. And after that, I became a head nurse for that ward with his recommendations. And no, I have participated in all disaster, fire drills, sport blues and all. And staff used to be very confident when I am on duty, even though it may be a head nurse post or a supervisor post, whatever it is, they used to be very confident. Anyway, madam is there. And I used to feel that my in charges used to ask me, ma'am, why you are still here, my doctors. I used to tell that my children are still not yet finished. How can I go? I mean, that much, I used to have that much attachment with this, my staff. And really, when we were empowered with knowledge and skill, people will keep us on the heights, which I have experienced there in Saudi. And Saudi, like I worked for 13 years. I joined as staff nurse, then became head nurse, then nursing supervisor and chief nurse and nursing director. So after I came back from Saudi, it is already 13 years away from the books. Yeah, I was having CNE programs and all, but not that much that I have to open the books and read completely for education purpose like that. So I was, when I came off, like after 1 month, see, we people who are working, we cannot simply sit at home. So after 1 month, I thought of searching for a job. I get bored, I was searching for a job. Then my friends told, no, at this moment you have to do MSc nursing because there is a gap for 13 years. And all juniors who finished after us, they have already done MSc and they are working in the colleges. So that is the time I have to decide for MSc nursing, and I joined in NIMS College of Nursing for my MSc, and I was the first batch student and I was the eldest in the classroom. In my classroom, I was the eldest. And to be frank, when my friends told that I have to do MSc, my husband accepted and my son was telling, Mommy, is it necessary for you to go for studies at this moment? You are already 45 years, why you want to go for? But I said, no, there is no age limit for education or study. So I joined for MSc nursing. And there also my friends, my BSc classmates who are already in principal post in government colleges in Telangana now, Telangana and Andhra, they told me, don't compete with your juniors, your classmates who they will be running for the grades and marks, but you don't run at the back of them for the marks and all. Just go as it is. Because at this age, if you take tension and all, you may land up in other health problems. So don't take any tension. And only my concept is I want to do PhD after nursing, after MSc. I was expecting I want only 60%, not more than that, to go as an entrance. Because at that age, really, no, I could register only around 55 to 60%, whatever I am. Maybe because of this much gap, 13 years gap of not opening the books, and it may be for them in an age factor, whatever it is. So I was just only thinking that I must be getting only sorry, PhD. So thank God I got 65% in my masters, and then I could register for my PhD. Until like no April, sorry, December 22nd, 2020, I am working with Apollo College of Nursing as professor. And in my tenure, I never had any problem, and my students were only feeling like I am like a motherly figure, role model, and a mentor for my students. And there is no complaint or anything like that. And most of the teachers, they will say that, see, when we are students, our teachers did like this. They were very strong. They were holding us, and we also have to behave in the same way. But for me, I feel that that is wrong. At one day or other, we should not be in the footsteps of our teachers. Yes, we have to be, we have to follow them. But the thing is, what is good given to us by our teachers, that we have to take up. Not that bad experiences, what we had with our teachers, that we should not carry for our students. So that was my feeling. I never had that. No, I don't want to be, my students should not feel that I had a bad experience or I felt at this. Maybe I am feeling bad for one teacher now. I don't want my student to feel that badness after after they depart from me. So like after Apollo, I joined as Dean in Care Educational Foundations. And I am the president for TNA Telangana State, and I am the life member for TNA and Sochni. I can say that I am a social activist because I am supporting some of the organizations. There is one Design Society which takes care of AIDS children, and there is another orphanage which support where I am supporting for them for food and education. So with all this, I feel that I am a social activist. So nursing today has witnessed several changes, success and challenges through lots of pride and moment. Nurses have widened the scope of their work, while the roles and responsibilities have multiplied. They are still concerned with regard to development of nursing workforce selection and recruitment, placement as per specialization. So what was there before nursing is different and what is now nursing is different. I can say that there is a scope for improving of living and working conditions of nurses in future, because now TNA is working for the minimum wages. So they went to Supreme Court and they got the order, a minimum salary for in private, like 20,000 per month starting salaries, and they were even there are some councils, state councils and Indian Nursing Council, which is talking about continuing nursing education. And there is an integration of service and education. See, previously they are telling there is a gap between education and service. Now, because INC is telling, like they have done a pilot study in St. John's College of Nursing, Bangalore, and they thought that teachers, faculty, if they go for a dual role, automatically we can bridge the gap between education and service side. So INC is processing for developing practical model for the country, and they are even giving Florence Nightingale awards along with the Minister of Health and Family Welfare. That is the biggest award for a nurse, recognizing their services. So I think our social, they are uplifted in the society compared to the previous years. And nursing professional associations act as advocates for nursing unique interest and causes. Nurses who join and become active in associations such as TNA or other instrumental in protecting and profession of nursing and ensuring that healthcare issues are at the top of the political agenda in all the governments. It's not only in one part or other part. Throughout India, when we take, everywhere there is a problem. So nurses need to be politically active to represent the interest of the nursing profession. See, when we go to the people, political people, they just listen to our problems and leave it aside. So I think if we are actively knowing about the politics and how to go on, maybe people will make us to do our thing, politically, we will become activists automatically, our things will move forward. So when we vote, we elect people, and who will make only budget decisions. Who can vote for people who will support our job security and advocating funding for our healthcare. When we vote for somebody, we feel that they will help us, they will support us, and will have job security, and they will help us in funding and other things. But we can also reinforce the importance of nursing profession by contacting politicians to share information and let them know what is the value of nurses' work. And political activity gives nurses an opportunity to represent and advance our professional values. So we nurses in Telangana had so many issues from government as well as private sector. So as TNA president, I went to health minister with representation so many times, and we were not getting any response. So at this juncture, at this moment, we all nurses came to know that about MLC graduate constituency elections. And the people came forward and they told that to enroll. So that enrollment part we have done, and so many people done. And in the as per the records, it came around 40,000 nurses were enrolled for these elections, and we will be voting and electing somebody, and that same old process will be going on with that. The person, these 40,000 will go and vote for somebody, and we are going to elect somebody, and again the same process. We will be going with the representation with the paper letter, and we will giving to them, and they will be listening and keeping it there. So at that moment, we all nurses in Telangana, I mean, we leaders thought like somebody has to come forward, catch those 40,000 votes. So I thought, okay, let me go for it, because nobody is responding. Let me go for it. I just came forward for contesting as an independent candidate, because I cannot go to any party and ask them, because they just won't give the seat like that. The people, whoever is going, I mean, contesting with the parties, they are all getting seats maybe by paying or whatever it is. So they have their own criteria for giving the seat. So I cannot go and ask, I have 40,000 nurses votes, give me a seat. So I just wanted to contest as an independent candidate, and I want to show directly or indirectly the vote bank of nurses. Because people has to know like what is nursing and where, because our profession, they take our health. We are the ones struggling day and night in health. 50%, even WHO agreed that we health nurses are 50%. That is the reason we were getting, like last year they were telling year nurse 2020. The thing is, we are like pillars to the healthcare sector, but still our services are not recognized. So I thought if somebody is going for it, if really winning, it's a really a miracle for nursing profession. If not, also no problem. People will come to know that from nursing somebody has contested. So okay, nurses are also there. They can also come forward. They can also do something. So this is what I thought, and I have contested, and I am happy at least.
Thank you.
People came to know what is nursing. Yeah. That's the change. It's really different, because our nurses.
I'm sorry, Rajeshwari ma'am. I have to interrupt you in between because we can hear you hours and hours. Because we really love your story and it inspired a lot. And let me tell you, there is so many students, there's a faculties, there's a clinical nurses, and you are giving them a new arena, a new area where they can also try and experiment their future, and they can also work for the healthcare sector by entering into the politics and be active in policy making. With that note,
Yeah,
yeah, I just wanted to
yes,
have your
yes,
one-liner message for all of us. I'm so sorry I
yeah,
interrupted you because other are waiting, ma'am.
yeah. So to actually change, it's really difficult. So maybe that is the reason, like, no, I could not get the first preference votes from the nurses, but second preference votes I got. So we nurses learn to dream. Once we dream and focus the vision, automatically we will stifle. So we should have determination and perseverance. When we have determination and perseverance, I think we can win. If not today, we nurses can beat the bushes in future. So I request all the student nurses, young nurses, it's my humble request, update yourselves with the latest advances and show your leadership qualities and come forward. It is not that we don't think that we are not eligible or we are not supposed to do, only male has to do or somebody has to do. It is not like that. We can do anything. We can bring a change, a great change. So please update yourself, be active. So, and even in the colleges, be active in the SNA groups and all. Do some other activities.
Yeah. With that note, I really wanted to thanks again. Probably there's a network issue. Uh, and she concluded so beautifully. And thank you once again, ma'am. She is a true example of courage, knowledge, and determination. Now we are looking forward to our next section. Over to Rekha.
Thank you, Rupa. So that was a very inspirational story by Madam Rajeshwari. So we are again taking into another segment. As you all know, health should be the first priority in our life. We cannot compromise it. Anyone can be the health minister, but can you think if a health ministry will be led by a nurse, how it would be? Definitely, we can experience significant changes in the health of the nation. So let's listen the visionary ideas of our young budding nursing students who would like to become the health minister of their state. So here I am introducing our first student, Miss Jismi George, who is a fourth year BSc nursing student from D.Y. Patil Nursing College, Mumbai. Why she joined nursing? She joined because she felt that nursing provides a chance to acquire knowledge regarding everything happening in an individual. In a country like India, where medical facilities are evolving, there is huge demand for qualified nurse. And her vision in nursing is to become a research nurse who can teach and mentor nurses at the college or university level, working to shape the next generation of nurse. And she want to do her PhD in nursing, and she want to work as a nursing director in her future vision. That's about Jismi. Next, we have another brilliant girl, Melissa Cyril Cardos, who is also an BSc nursing student, and she's from Tehmi Grand Institute of Nursing Education, Pune. She joined nursing to make a difference in the society. She wanted to develop her potentialities as a nurse, and she felt that she can create an impact wherever she go in nursing. And in coming years, she want to see herself as a community health nurse, and she aspire to achieve more in community and want to take up a leadership role or become a community health officer. So here we are starting with our session. So let me call Jismi George. She's going to discuss that if she become the health minister of Kerala, what she would like to do. Over to you, Jismi.
Good evening, all. Sir, am I audible?
Yes, audible.
Good evening, everyone. I hope all of you are safe and doing well. My name is Jismi George. I'm a fourth year basic BSc nursing student from D.Y. Patil College of Nursing. I joined nursing because nursing provides me a chance to acquire knowledge regarding everything happening with an individual and an opportunity to do service for the humankind. In a country like India, where medical facilities are evolving, there is a huge demand for qualified nurses. My vision is to become a PhD nurse who can teach and mentor nurses at the college or university level, working to shape the next generation of nurses. And also, PhD provides me to work as a nurse, director, or other supervisory position. I'm so grateful for being a part of this nurse talk show and would like to express my gratitude for this opportunity to share my views on the topic. During this pandemic, everyone is concerned about their health, and rightly, our dignitaries have chosen this precious topic for Nurse Talk Show. So, starting with my views on topic, if I'm the Health Minister of Kerala, I will try and make various changes that I think should be brought about in the present healthcare system. A health minister is the member of a country's government, typically responsible for protecting and promoting public health and providing welfare and other social and security services. As a health minister, my mission is to care for all, no discrimination for any of the groups. And my vision is to see Kerala as a role model for health achievement in the entire world. To accomplish my mission and vision, I have to work hard with my views and collaborating the existing norms and policies. Health status is generally measured in terms of mortality rate and expectation of life at birth, among others. Kerala has made significant gains in health indices such as high life expectancy, low infant mortality rate, birth rate, and death rate. The state must ensure that these gains are sustained. This outstanding progress of health status is achieved through widespread growth of the three systems of medicine in public, private, cooperative sectors combined with people's health awareness. Though Kerala has attained better healthcare indicators, the people are now facing the problem of high morbidity both from communicable and non-communicable diseases. Besides, the state also needs to address problems of lifestyle diseases like diabetes, hypertension, coronary heart disease, cancer, and geriatric problems. Besides, there are new threats to the health scenario of the state like mental health problems, suicide, substance abuse and alcoholism, adolescent health issues, and rising number of road traffic accidents. The health status of the marginalized communities like tribals and fisheries were also poor compared to that of the general population. To tackle these problems, I would like to implement some kind of remedies to overcome this. So, coming to the problems which I had listed or which I had noticed is this. First, coming to the problems in the healthcare sector that is facing now are these, and I would like to describe how I'm planning to tackle them if I'm provided with an opportunity. Firstly, poor infrastructure is one among the major concerns. I will check where there is need for a proper infrastructure, and by prioritizing, I will get the work done for proper building, and thus people can access the healthcare without any concern. Next is inadequate staff. Recruitment of staffs, if not done properly, can interfere in various aspects of healthcare system. So I will keenly look into the staffing pattern and make necessary changes and send staffs to places where it's really needed. Today, we can see many of the nurses are thinking of going abroad after their graduation. Why so? Because many are concerned about their families and future. Here the main issue starts, that is lack of salary. So as a health minister, it's my responsibility to promote a good health to my people. So I should keep the experienced nursing staffs for my state. I will create a budget that is acceptable for nurses and the government. Lack of life insurance policies and schemes is the next problem. Providing various policies for nursing staffs and doctors can improve their functioning in healthcare sector. Promoting various schemes with the existing ones like Cancer Suraksha, Hunger Free City, Sneha Purvam, Karunya Deposit, etc. will enhance the status of healthcare sector. Then coming to the concern for mental health and alcoholism, today our new generation is getting more addicted with drugs like cocaine, marijuana and other kind of drugs. Young generation have to leave the world peacefully tomorrow. So de-addiction centers with homely.
Jismi, please unmute yourself.
Ma'am, am I audible?
Yes, you are. Start.
Okay. Then coming to the concern for mental health and alcoholism, today our new generation is getting more addicted with drugs like cocaine, marijuana and other kind of drugs. Young generation have to leave the world peacefully tomorrow. So de-addiction centers with homely appearance, counseling centers in each area of each district, psychiatric nurse posting in every district should be planned. And also have to think about different posts for nursing staffs. To maintain the health issues, it's important to post the one who knows every aspect of health and human behavior. As nursing, we know that we are practicing every kind of knowledge regarding psychiatry, physiology and anatomy of body, sociology, and so on. So, it's better to give various director and general posting for the nurse and starting new clinics in the respective areas. So, every district should cover at least 30 sub-clinics for the people. Then coming to lack of resources, this is a major concern according to me. Ask if there is any emergency and if there is lack of resources, then health services would get adversely affected. So I will get the proper data of all available resources, and wherever there is shortage of resources, I will make sure they receive enough resources. Coming to next, I would like to implement nurse-led clinics. Nurse-led clinics are an effective adjunct to general practitioner clinics. For example, like Kerala is high in diabetes, hypertension, cholesterol, etc. So, nurse-led diabetes clinic, nurse-led hypertension clinic will reduce the morbidity rate of those prevalent disease. Means, being a health minister, I will focus on most prevalent disease in the state and nurse will lead those clinics. A nurse learns holistic health, so I will create cadre for those nurses who can be appointed in every domain of health. Next is involvement of nurse in clinical research. An understanding of nursing research can improve the depth and breadth of every nurse's professional practice. Some people are still practicing the old way because they have not heard about the research and how important it is. In a growing moment, nurse researchers are harnessing the knowledge they acquire on the floor to inform evidence-based practices. Final and important point is coordination about everyone in the healthcare team. I will bring about routine meetings of the executives wherein they will present the ongoing activity reports, and that's how proper functioning can be made sure. I will also visit areas regularly and appoint officials to do the same, and this will help in monitoring proper coordination and implementation of proper work. So coming to the end, nurses are the heroes who attend the needs of their patients, be it day or night, without a frown on their face. You could say they are the backbones of the healthcare industry who tirelessly take care of all the requirements of the patients. Can you imagine a hospital without a nurse? Impossible, right? So I will definitely post nurses in all fields of healthcare to maintain the backbone of my health department. So all these are the things which I would like to implement for my state for proper functioning and promotion of health in Kerala state. Not only this, I will also develop ideas every day as much as possible to create a huge change in my health sector as a nurse. Thank you all for your patient listening. Thank you all.
Thank you so much.
Well done. Super.
It
Thank
was
you, ma'am.
really inspiring, and let your vision become the vision of every nurse. So, without wasting time, I would like to listen. We would like to listen from Melissa, who want to become the health minister of Maharashtra. So she has her own vision. So, Melissa, over to you.
Hello, sir. Am I audible?
Yes, quite. You are audible. Yeah.
If I am the Health Minister of Maharashtra, a true leader has the courage to stand alone, make tough decisions, and be compassionate to listen to the needs of others. Good evening. I'm Melissa Cardos, and I'm fortunate enough to be given an opportunity to share my views as the Health Minister of Maharashtra. Being a nurse, this gives me a great opportunity to uplift the healthcare system of my state. As well as we all know, being a nurse is no exception. We put ourselves in every given situation and take up every opportunity put forth. While Maharashtra is the most affluent state with highest capita income and contributes to the country's national income and tax revenues, it still continues to have high levels of poverty and inequalities, which reflect in the health outcomes of the state. As a health minister, I prioritize my goals according to the health determinants, which is very important, and the first being the physical environment. Pollution being the major environmental concern in mega city of Maharashtra like Mumbai, my efforts will be directed towards a more concerted and coordinated efforts across the government, collaborating with the Maharashtra Pollution Control Board with the involvement of other ministries, including finance, agriculture, rural development, power and transport. I would give opportunity for the young environmentalists and citizens to come up with ideas to tackle pollution. With nearly half of Mumbai's total population living in the slums, are excluded of basic amenities included guaranteed access of safe and clean toilets, the presence of overused and poorly maintained community toilets inside these slums are seen to be the major reason for explosion of measures will be undertaken to provide accessible testing, timely treatment, and medical supervision. Nurse Anagha, who trooped around the lanes of Dharavi slum, which was recently Mumbai's epicenter of COVID, she said, I could not have abandoned my duty at the time like this when nurses are being called upon to serve. Yes, she disposes her PPE at the end of her shift and only to don another the next day. We need more and more nurses like Mrs. Anagha Amburle. Next being employment and working conditions. Moreover, as a health minister, I will take steps to improve the process of recruiting staff, training of staff, especially retaining nurses and doctors in India by providing health benefits to their families, salary hikes and incentives, giving them opportunity to grow through continuing education, providing security assurance for violence against doctors and nurses by proposing strict, ensuring each and every hospital has an employee support group where their problems are solved and their needs are met. I will come up with policies for qualified nurses, highly skilled and expertise staff, giving them the opportunity to opt for nurse practitioner program. Nurse practitioners will be well trained and legally empowered to practice independently in my state. They will be allowed to run autonomous clinics by clearing a licentiate examination. Next, health services. Obtaining goals of universal health coverage. All individuals receive the health services they need without suffering financial hardship. It includes all spectrum of essential quality health services from health promotion to preventive measures, treatment, educative services, and palliative care. Introducing nurse-led clinic facilities to fulfill the demands of shortage of physicians, and also this will also provide opportunities for nurses to provide and manage minor ailments and first-line treatments to the patients. Healthy women and child development. The aims will be for promoting the protection, development, welfare, and participation of women and children in holistic manner. National programs will be undertaken for children in schools. Vaccination drives will be carried out like polio and MMR vaccination drive in my state. Major steps to prevent under 5 morbidity and mortality. Obtaining goals of IMNCI, which is an integrated approach that focuses on the well-being of the child, including both preventive and curative aspects. Education and literacy. The most targeted population for cigarette advertisement is the youth. I will take measures to provide compulsory education in colleges about addiction and substance abuse. Involve students in #No Tobacco Drive so that a sense of awareness is created among them. School students, along with value education, should have health as a subject where they are oriented to basic concept of health, its determinants, and minor ailments. Personal health practices and coping skills. All women, right from the remotest rural area of Maharashtra to the suburban and urban areas, will be educated about menstrual hygiene and self-hygiene practices. There will be involvement of medical as well as nursing students as a part of their community outreach program in their curriculum. They will engage with the people through their street play, dance, music, slogan, and dramas to educate the females. As a part of the initiative, free pads will be provided in schools and colleges, also in the rural areas of Maharashtra. I will propose the government to exclude taxes on sanitary pads and moreover, provide it free of cost in all public hospitals. Social support networks. Keeping in mind, along with physical health, mental health should also be given importance. My efforts would be to strengthen the activities undertaken by the National Mental Health Program. I will come up with a portal naming it Manovikas. Man implying to mind and Vikas implying to growth. This portal will be freely accessible to all, where group of psychiatrists, mental health nurses, psychologists, family therapists will be working to provide free consultation to all suffering from depression, anxiety, and also work towards eradicating stigma associated with illness, providing referral services for patients requiring additional care. Motto being, it's okay, not be okay. Maharashtra of my dream. Maharashtra of my dreams would be where people understand the importance of health, reduce infant and child mortality and morbidity rate, reduce burden of communicable and non-communicable diseases, upliftment of nursing as a profession, and advancement in healthcare system. Lastly, as a health minister, I would use my knowledge, power, and opportunity wisely and do the best of my abilities and motivate nurses to take up leadership roles that would surely make a huge difference in the society. Thank you.
That was
Wow,
really,
Melissa. Super duper.
it
Continue.
was really amazing and very much inspiring. Being a graduate student, you both have explored very detailed the health problems of the state and identified correctly and with all the possibilities what a nurse can do. Only nurse can do everything in health, that you both have proved. And really we are like dreaming one day the reality will come. Let this vision become a common vision in every nurse so we can change the health of our nation. Thank you both of you students. Please do your this visionary things continuously, and you can really encourage your young nurses also. Thank you for joining us. So we have a poll here. This is not like a competition, but just to understand the public view. Based on what students' vision of healthcare, where would you prefer to get your healthcare? Either in Kerala or in Maharashtra? Yes, we are getting good poll. Yes, even in chat box also you can see this is full of inspiring messages from our participants also. But yes, as per the poll, people would like to get more healthcare from Maharashtra because it's another dream project, right? Thank you so much. We are here ending our poll. Next, we have a quiz. As you know, uh, in our talk show, we have quiz for our students as well as our public. So here we are introducing the student quiz. The rules for the quiz is this is only for nursing students and it's only one submission per student. And you can write the complete answer in the chat box, either in Zoom or in Facebook Live also, along with your full name. And student who write the correct answer first will be the winner. And winner will get a small cash prize. So here comes the question for today. Name the best site to deliver 3 to 5 ml of intramuscular injection. I repeat, which is the best site to deliver 3 to 5 ml of intramuscular injection? You can write your answer here. Thanks a lot.
Thank you,
Over to you,
Chris.
Rekha, ma'am.
Thank you, Chris, and thank you, congratulations, Melissa and Jasmine, for your wonderful thought sharing. Now it's time to. Is it my slide is visible?
No. Please share.
Yeah, just a moment. Is it visible?
Yes.
Thank you.
Yes.
Make it full screen, please. Thank you.
Yeah, it's okay. Thank you, Mr. Chris, and congratulations, Ms. Alisa and Jasmine, for sharing your wonderful thoughts. Now it's time to invite and welcome our today's public speaker. It's my proud privilege to welcome my colleague, Ms. Chopra K. Thomas. She is an excellent nurse and experienced and very passionate towards organ donation. She had completed her schooling from Army School, Delhi, Kent. She studied GNM from RML in the year of 1998 to 2001 and joined the same institute in 2004. She joined as a she has taken training from the nurse transplant from AIMS and she is attached with NOTO. She also got training from nurse coordinator from ILBS, NOTO and PGI Chandigarh. Apart from that, she had lots of achievement, like she got an excellent award related to organ donation from Ghulam Nabi Azad, our ex-Health Minister, Government of India, and she also got Swami Vivekanand Jan Jan. I just forget the name. SVJR Swami. Sorry, I'll just forget the this thing. And another excellent award by the Ek Sakha Welfare Society, and she was holding a very prestigious post of Chief Transplant Nurse Coordinator from 2014 to 2021. She is going to motivate the public and the relative of the patient who are sick or here all are admitted in the ICUs for organ donation. Sorry for the glitches. And this is a glimpse of her achievements. Apart from that, she is doing lots of activities which promote organ donation. Over to you, Swapna, and sorry for the technical glitches. Over to you, Swapna, please.
Okay. Thank you so much, Rekha ma'am, for the wonderful words. And thank you all for giving me this opportunity to present on a organ donation topic, which is very sensitive. And as also from Rajeshwari ma'am and also from the students, I feel very motivated to be a part of this group. And also Rupa ma'am, just for giving me this opportunity. So without wasting time, I will start with the organ donation, about the organ donation, just few details about how does it work and what all things we need to do just to promote the organ donation process. So can I go to the next slide? So let's start about like what is organ donation exactly. Yes, ये हट जाएगा यहाँ से स्क्रीन नीचे करो. Just a second. Failure, recipients need the organs. The former is the donor and the latter is the recipient. So people of all ages can become donors. The next slide, please. But globally, there remains a huge disequilibrium between the organ donation and transplantation because there is a lot of patient waiting for the transplantation, but we don't have that much donors. So this disequilibrium, it exists mostly in India, and we need to clear this disequilibrium and promote more donations. So we as healthcare professionals are not only the primary intermediates between organ donors and transplant recipients, but also professionally situated as the implementers of organ donation and transplantation process, as we particularly exist where the donors are there. So we are often blamed for the global organ shortage. Why? Because as a nurse, we are there in the center and we can talk to the patient if there is a brain death. Like organ donation is only possible if the patient is brain dead. And also after the cardiac death, we can donate like tissues, and also eye donation is possible. But the organ donations are possible only after the brain death certification. Next slide, please. So now what all we can, as a nurse coordinator, what all we can do, as I have already discussed. Now let us discuss about the gift of donation. What are the major organs? Like I said, heart, lung, and the other organs we can donate deceased donor only, that is the brain death. And lung also, that is deceased donor and live donor also a part of this thing. And heart, lung, deceased donor, and domino transplant. Abdominal organs like kidney, liver, pancreas, intestine, that all have given like deceased donor only can donate. But when it comes to hand, cornea, skin, face transplant like tissues, islets of Langerhans, bone marrow, blood transfusion, blood vessels, and heart wall, these can be, especially blood vessels can be from the deceased donor only, and the hand, cornea, and skin tissues can be transplanted from the live, like kidney. One kidney we can donate as a for the live transplant. Next slide. Next slide, please. Am I audible?
Yes,
Yes,
we are.
Swapna.
Yes, you are very much.
Okay. Okay. Can we move to the next slide?
Who's managing the slides? Yeah, it's getting delayed.
Okay. So now, as we all know, one donor can save up to 8 leads, like one heart, 2 lungs, 1 liver, 1 pancreas, 2 kidneys, intestine. That is about the brain dead donor who is donating. The same donor can also save about 50 by donating the tissues. So now, shortly speaking, some myths about the organ donation. Like most of the people, they think that if it is in the hospital, my family will be charged if I donate my organs. But famous peoples move to the friend of the line. Like there is an organ donation registry maintained from the Noto now, and there is no mishappenings like priority given to anyone according to the priority list. Whoever comes first, we give the chance to them. But famous people, it is not like that. Like the people famous who are, or some approach people, they can't get the organ according to the organ registration, whatever registry maintained from the Noto, that we are continuing. Now, some people feel like I want my loved one to have an open casket funeral, but that can't happen if his or her organs or tissues have been donated. They have some myths like this, that if the proper donation is not done, then the next janam, the next life, they won't be having the organs. Organ donation is against my religion. Like some, like especially in Muslim category, they feel that okay, it is against my religion. But actually, organ donation is not. Any religion is not against organ donation. And if I am a donor, my doctor or the emergency room staff won't work as hard to save my life. This is a myth, a very big myth. Like, okay, you people have to take the organs, so will we not get the proper treatment? So this is a myth, which with our good approach and the compassionate nature, we need to create a trust among the relatives and the patients. Next slide. So just we need to know that when does donation occur? It is only after, whether the patient is brain dead or the cardiac death, whatever donations we can have, it's only after every measure has been taken to save the patient's life. First preference is the saving patient's life. Then only we go for the organ donation. After the death has been legally and medically declared, only we will go for organ donation. Even for the approach towards organ donation, only after the brain death certification, after the consent from the near relatives. According to the THOA rules, that is a large topic. There is a legal THOA rule. So according to that, there are near relatives, that is husband, wife, the kids, the grandparents. So we need the consent from the near relatives. So if the near relatives gives the consent, then only we will go for the organ donation. After a person has passed away, the hospital notifies an organ recovery center. If it is not an organ, like our RML hospital in which we work, it is an organ recovery center already. But if it is a small hospital, then we will notify that organ recovery center. Then only we will go for the, with all legal process, without having any negative approaches towards patient relatives. Next slide. So the next slide is like, I will just say, because I think it's taking time. So now becoming a donor, like, it is a very huge topic as we have very short of time. I'll just say, because it is a very noble, gesture to donate organs, because there are a lot of people suffering without getting the organs. So the becoming a donor, first advice is, if we want to donate, the first thing is that if we have a wish of donating, we have to advise our family of our wishes to become a donor, because the near relatives are the person who is consenting for a donation if the patient is a brain dead. So our wish is, we need to discuss it with our family. And second, sign up to become a donor. Now last, we have to carry a card that identify you as a donor. If in case of any mishappening or a brain death certification, we need a card which shows that you are willing to, but that is not a legal paper for the donation, because the final authority is of near relatives consent, but still it shows your consent for donating organs. So we can go to like NOTO, National Organ Tissue Transplant Organization, which is situated in Safdarjung. They are actively participating in all the matter related to organ donation and donation. So for registration, we can go to NOTO helpline, which I have given the website and the NOTO helpline number. And if anyone want to donate or pledge for the organ donor, they can visit the NOTO website. And also there is, when you visit, there is already pledge for the donor card. It is written. So if you'll pledge the form, fill the forms, the donor card will be sent to your address, whichever you are giving. So in short, I just believe that this is not the end, and I think we should begin from here, and we should go for such a noble cause and donate our organs, because we are not, if we are taking it to the after death, there is no use of it. But if someone can live up to this world with your organs, then there is no more gift, no greater gift than that. So I think, please, as the website is given already, so you can sign up if you want to, and go for the pledge donation. And I think it is most of a talk show. So if this is a short, brief discussion I have given about, and if anyone want to ask something, then I'll be grateful to them. And over to Rekha ma'am, if anyone has a question, which organization will? Okay, like it is right, because the organ donation is very less in North India, but there are many foundations like Mohan Foundation, and also now recently the NOTO has been into place. After the NOTO has come, there it has improved a lot. So we are going on a forward movement to fight more about and practically do more about organ donation in North India. But already the South India, the government is so supportive, and they have a very good support from the administration also. But we are on process. We'll also reach there for definitely. Thank you, ma'am. It's really a kind gesture.
Thank you so much, Swapna, for your wonderful session. I think
Okay.
you have cleared all the doubts and myths which were associated with your organ donation, and it will be a symbol of hope that those who are already waiting for their organs, I must expecting that the people will come forward for donate their organs after listening your
Yeah.
talk. So let's see how many people are convinced from your conversation. So let's take a poll based on your talk. Over to you, Ms.
Okay.
Rupa.
Okay, ma'am.
Thank you, Rekha ma'am, and thank you, Swapna ma'am, for your valuable insights on the topic.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much.
Rupa, is
Rupa,
there any?
is the poll working? Rupa?
Ma'am, there is some problem in the sites and network issues there. That's why we are not able to.
I request to withdraw the slides, please.
Yeah, please. Just sorry. I'm doing.
Stop sharing, please.
Yeah. It's okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So this is a nice response from everyone. Whether you would like to pledge your organ for donation at the end of your life. So thanks for your response. Yes, all the near about 98%. I mean, we can say it is like 100% only.
Oh, very good.
Swapna, it's 98%. It's too good. Thank you so much.
Very good. Very good. I'm very good.
Thank you. Thank you
Yeah.
so much. So here we are coming with our next quiz question, which is for our public. So I request everyone to kindly listen the rules. This quiz will be only for public, not for any nurses or nursing students. Only those who are belong to other profession other than nursing or medical. Only one submission per participant. You have to choose the best answer from the options, and you can write the answer. So the question comes here. Avoiding which of the
hello,
following list of foodstuff will prevent
Okay,
paralytic
okay,
attack,
दीदी कोई बात नहीं
or
कोई
we can
बात
also
नहीं
call as
no
stroke?
no
Option A, bread, rice, chapatis. Option B, pickle, papad, potato chips. Option C, egg, milk, cheese. And option D, cucumber, carrot, potato. So you can write your answer. This is only for those who are not from nursing profession. Thanks a lot. So as we are coming to the end, we are having some talent corner. So without wasting the time, I'm taking you to our talent corner. As we all know, dance is a universal language. It can break language barriers and open the door for communication across the culture. Here we are bringing a semi-classical performance by nursing students from D.Y. Patil Nursing School, Mumbai. And the song is in Malayalam language, but we all know music does not have language. It speaks in emotions, and if it is in bonds, it is in the bonds. So let's enjoy the classical performance of our talent students.
Krish, can you see my screen?
Only that folder we can see. Please play.
Can you see now?
No, Rupa,
no.
nothing has started as yet. It's blank.
Black color.
It's a black now.
Okay. Yeah.
Sound
Now
is
it
there.
is. Yes, please play.
Yes.
Play. Thank
Just
you.
a moment. Give me a second, please.
Hello, Rupa.
Rupa?
There. Can you hear the song as well as video?
Yes, beautiful.
चञ्चलद्रुतपदतालं സുകൃതതാളം ചഞ്ചലദ്രുതപദതാളം സുകൃതതാളം സുന്ദരതരഹരിഗീതം ഹരിതഗീതം വധുവൊരുങ്ങി പ്രിയനൊരുങ്ങി മധുരരാമഴ പെയ്തൊഴുകി പൊന്നഴകിനു മഴകാം മാധവമേ നിൻ കുമ്പിളിൽ നിറയും സ്വരമെവിടെ താം തനനനനനനന ത്രിതല ജതികളുടെ ചഞ്ചല ദ്രുതപദതാളം സുകൃതതാളം ഓ സുന്ദരതര ഹരിഗീതം ഹരിതഗീതം ഇവിടെ വിടരുമി പ്രണയമലരികൾ മദന പല്ലവമല്ലോ ഇവിടെയൊഴുകുമീ മൃദുല ലഹരിയിൽ ആത്മമഞ്ജരിയല്ലോ ഇവിടെ നിറയും ജീവരാഗം പൊൻകിനാവിൻ പുളകമല്ലോ നിറപറ നിറയെ ശ്രീനിറയുകയായി മംഗളമേളമിതാ നിരിസരിപ മരികമരി നിസരിമപ ചഞ്ചല ദ്രുതപദതാളം സുകൃതതാളം ഓ സുന്ദരതര ഹരിഗീതം ഹരിതഗീതം വധുവൊരുങ്ങി പ്രിയനൊരുങ്ങി മധുരരാമഴ പെയ്തൊഴുകി പൊന്നഴകിനു മഴകാം മാധവമേ നിൻ കുമ്പിളിൽ നിറയും സ്വരമെവിടെ താം തനനനനനന ത്രിതല ജതികളുടെ ചഞ്ചല ദ്രുതപദതാളം സുകൃതതാളം ഓ സുന്ദരതര ഹരിഗീതം ഹരിതഗീതം
That was
Very, very
really,
beautiful.
really amazing. It was like excellent choreography and the synchronization, everything was perfect. So we really wonderful see. Still, our India is rich in cultures. So you proved again, and thank you so much. Yes, Sridevi ma'am, would you like to say something? Ma'am, please unmute.
I would like to specifically thank Rita Lakhani, today's Dr. Rita Lakhani, but she is my student. So I thank her for two reasons. She provided us with a student who spoke about, Jismi spoke on in the student section, and for the fantastic recording and the talent corner. So thank you, Rita, a ton. I also would like to thank Srilekha Rajesh, the vice principals of Tehami Grant. I think Shubha or Shubhangi is not there, for her student as well. Thank you so much with your cooperation and support. We seem to be climbing heights. And of course, thanks to Swapna and to Rajeshwari as well for all the great show that we put up. And our core team, I'm not going to thank because they have to do it.
Thank you so much, ma'am. We would like to share the results of our quiz. So this was the question, and the answer is ventrogluteal site is the best site to deliver 3 to 5 ml of IM injection. We had nice response, but the correct answer is ventrogluteal, because since the potential risk of injury to sciatic nerve is very less in this site, so that is the only reason. And the winner is Nimi Rachel Johnson, who is a 4th year BSc Nursing student of D.Y. Patil. I think today is day of D.Y. Patil. So you all are scored. Thank you so much. And all the participants also have participated. And for the public, the question was avoiding which of the following list of footsteps will prevent paralytic attack or stroke. And the answer is option B, pickle, papad, and potato chips, because the sodium content is very high in this footstep. But unfortunately, we have not got any right answer for this, or maybe we have less public today. That's just an unfortunate part. Thank you so much to all the.
So no prize. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you so much to all the participants. And before winding up, and I'll just to share one small story. I know it is time up, but I just want to share one small story. Once two friends met in a restaurant, and one told the other that his marriage was fixed, and he invited his friend to attend the wedding. He also inquired as to whether his friend had considered the marriage. Yes, replied the friend. I was quite eager to get married and set out to find the perfect wife. I met a woman in the village. She was very beautiful, intelligent, and spiritual, but she had no worldly language, knowledge, so I could not consider marrying her. Then I met another woman. She was beautiful, intelligent, and had both worldly and spiritual knowledge, but I could not communicate on all matters with her. So I again continued my search of wife. Finally, I met the woman of my dreams. She was perfect in all aspects. I could even communicate with her. The first friend interrupted and inquired, "Did you marry her?" Do you know what he said? No. He replied, "No." Why not? Asked the first friend. She was looking for the perfect husband. So this is the reason, like whether in marriage, profession, or all in our life, it would be help if we question ourselves instead of looking shortcomings of others. So no one is perfect. So एक positive mind हर चीज में अवसर पाता है. That is, a positive mind finds opportunity in everything. और negative mind हर चीज में गलती ढूंढता है. And negative mind always finds faults in everything. So we can find and explore ourselves more, so we can get into more. So we, the Nurse Talk Show, just aim to motivate nurses and young students. And this is our small initiative to bring a large system change by changing the attitude of nurse and empowering with them right, positive, and constructive knowledge. So once again, from our whole team, we pay our heartfelt gratitude to all of those who have joined with us today. And please give us your feedback. It always matters us. It is essential for us. So once again, thank you. And please watch our next show that will be on 9th April, which would be also on the same like segments. We will have one student segment. They will speak on our nursing teachers fit into clinical. Then we have one speaker, Miss Aravinder Ghosh. She will speak on she is actually a nurse by profession, but she used to like do all the unconventional part in her clinical area. Like she's an NLP trainer, hypnotherapist, Reiki therapist. So we also like to listen her. And we'll have a public talk on stroke, that is paralytic attack. So we all would like to see you in our next show. So here we are winding up our today's show. Once again, thank you to all. Shubh Ratri. Good night. Thank you.